The story of the Israelites begins with Abraham, a patriarch who received a divine call to leave his home in Mesopotamia and journey to a land called Canaan. This land, later known as Israel, was promised to his descendants by God. Abraham's grandson Jacob had 12 sons who became the progenitors of the 12 tribes of Israel. These early Israelites were nomadic people, herding their flocks and moving across the land. They faced hardship and famine, leading them to Egypt, where they were initially welcomed but later enslaved. The story of their exodus from Egypt, led by Moses, is a cornerstone of Jewish faith and history. After 40 years of wandering in the desert, the Israelites, guided by divine law and covenant, finally returned to Canaan. Under the leadership of Joshua, they conquered the land and established their own kingdom. This marked the beginning of a new era for the Israelites, one filled with both promise and challenges. The ensuing centuries witnessed the rise and fall of Israelite kingdoms. Under the reigns of Saul, David, and Solomon, Israel experienced a golden age of unity, prosperity, and religious devotion. King David established Jerusalem as the capital, and his son Solomon built the first temple, a magnificent structure that became the center of Jewish worship. However, this period of unity was short-lived. Internal strife and external threats led to the division of the kingdom into two, Israel in the north and Judah in the south. Both kingdoms faced constant threats from neighboring empires, including the Assyrians and Babylonians. In 722 BCE, the northern kingdom of Israel fell to the Assyrians and its people were scattered. Judah met a similar fate in 586 BCE when the Babylonians destroyed Jerusalem and the first temple, sending many Judeans into exile. This period of exile in Babylon proved to be a defining moment in Jewish history. It led to the development of synagogues, places of study and prayer that became central to Jewish communal life. Moreover, it solidified the Israelites' monotheistic faith and strengthened their yearning for a return to their homeland. After decades of exile, the Persians conquered Babylon and allowed the Jews to return to Jerusalem and rebuild their temple. This second temple became a symbol of Jewish resilience and hope. However, their newfound autonomy was short-lived. The region came under the control of Alexander the Great, and after his death was ruled by a succession of Hellenistic kingdoms. In 63 BCE, the Roman Empire conquered Judea, marking the beginning of a tumultuous period. The Romans, while initially granting the Jews a degree of autonomy, increasingly interfered in their affairs. Tensions escalated, culminating in a series of Jewish revolts against Roman rule. The most significant of these revolts, the Great Revolt, ended in tragedy. The Romans besieged Jerusalem, destroying the Second Temple in 70 CE and crushing the rebellion. The destruction of the temple marked a turning point in Jewish history, leading to the dispersion of Jews from their homeland and the beginning of the Jewish diaspora. For centuries, the Jewish people lived scattered across the globe, maintaining their faith and cultural identity while enduring periods of tolerance and persecution. However, the dream of returning to Zion, the land of their ancestors, never faded. In the 19th century, this longing for a homeland found expression in the Zionist movement. Zionism, spearheaded by figures like Theodor Herzl, advocated for the establishment of a Jewish state in Palestine. Driven by increasing anti-Semitism in Europe and a desire for self-determination, Jewish immigration to Palestine increased. The British, who controlled Palestine after World War I, initially supported the Zionist project, but the situation grew increasingly complex with the rise of Arab nationalism. In 1947, the United Nations voted to partition Palestine into two states, one Jewish and one Arab. This decision was met with mixed reactions, and the following year, 1948, witnessed the birth of the State of Israel, accompanied by the First Arab-Israeli War. This war, resulting in a decisive Israeli victory, led to a mass exodus of Palestinians from their homes, an event known as the Nakba, or catastrophe. The decades that followed saw a series of wars and conflicts between Israel and its Arab neighbors. The Six-Day War in 1967 led to Israel's capture of the West Bank, Gaza Strip, Golan Heights, and Sinai Peninsula. The Yom Kippur War in 1973, a surprise attack on Israel, further solidified its military dominance in the region. Despite the ongoing conflicts, there have been glimmers of hope for peace. Israel signed peace treaties with Egypt in 1979 and Jordan in 1994. The Oslo Accords in the 1990s, though ultimately unsuccessful in achieving a lasting peace agreement, were a significant attempt at resolving the Israeli-Palestinian conflict. As of 2024, the situation in Israel remains complex. The Israeli-Palestinian conflict continues with ongoing tensions and sporadic violence. The two-state solution, once seen as the most viable path to peace, faces significant challenges. The future of Israel, a nation born from ancient history and forged in the fires of conflict, remains uncertain.